I'm sharing my logging into my system, like my AWS account. Oh,
Preethi, for the pre-tier, should we be logging with the root user email?
anything is fine. You can log in with root user, or else you can create another IAM user. Anything should be fine. So we were learning the Linux basics, right? Let me get started. Let's start the instance. This is the server, if I remember. Let me connect to this. We have seen all these things, right? Creating an instance, connecting and all. So I'm connecting to my instance. Okay, so let us begin with the hands-on. In the last class, we have gone through some very simple basic Linux commands. Today, we'll get into user management. So in Linux, just a second. Yeah. So in Linux, like you can create users. As of now, I'm logged in as a root user, right? You can also create different users. Let me just get on to EC2 user. That's the EC2 user is the default user created on this Linux system. Sorry, one second. Yeah. So whenever you create a user, listen this carefully. In Linux, whenever you create a user, let's suppose we have a EC2 user, there will be a group created by the same name. Okay. And this user will be added into the group. This is called primary group. And you can add the same user to multiple groups. Those will be called as secondary groups. So whenever you create any particular user, a group will also be created by the same name and the current and the user will be added into the same group and which is called a primary group. Right. So users and user groups, meaning let's suppose you are working for a team, right? You may create a group for those users with the similar permissions. That's the purpose of group. So this what is this? Also, whenever you create a user, a directory will be created under home with the same name of the user. Like suppose if you created EC2 user, EC2 user directory will be created under home. That's called home directory for that user. So any installations done by that user will go into that particular group. Okay. So let me create some user here. Already EC2 user is there. Let's try to create some user. Um, Also, before that, I would like to set some password to this EC2 user. EC2 user is the default user which doesn't have password. You can set this way. But setting a password, creating users, these can be done only by a root user. Here, root user is called the super user. He will have all the privileges, all the permissions. Like you have admin user in Windows, right? So you have to switch to root and run the command, or else you can use sudo means giving privileges as a root user and running the command. So sudo password EC2 user, this will help set the password for this user. It's asking to set the password. Retype the password you want to set. Done. Password is set for this user. Now create another user. Add user Tom. So I'm just creating Tom user. And if you want to see those, uh, they are stored here in the etc password file. See here, EC2 user, Tom user, and every user will have a user ID, right? And the home directory, I told you, right? Home Tom. Here, home EC2 user. So you can see all the users here. Similarly, like I told you, whenever a user is created, he'll be added into some groups. If you want to see the groups or into which EC2 user is, into which the current user is added into, you can simply run the command groups. It will show you to what are all the groups the user is added to. The user is added to EC2 user group, admin group, wheel group, systemd general group. These are system defined groups which are already there and the user is added into those. Okay. And then here you can say etc group is where you can see all the groups. Okay. So a EC2 user is into EC2 group. If you want to see groups of any other user, groups and the username. So it tells you that Tom is into Tom user group. Okay, now you may create some other groups and add user to those groups, we can see. So let me create a group now. Can I go on? Any questions from anyone in this part? Good to go? Appreciate your quick
Yes.
response. Right, right. Okay, so let's say I'm creating some group. Sudo group add will help create a group. I'm creating a group called Devops. Sorry, the typo sudo group add. Okay, DevOps group is created. Now I would like to add this Tom to DevOps group. So minus G DevOps Tom means what it will do, assign DevOps as the primary group for Tom. Now if you check groups of Tom, see earlier you can see Tom is added into Tom group, but now Tom is added into DevOps group. Okay, suppose you want to delete the Tom group. Sudo group delete Tom. Group is deleted. Anyway, Tom is not in the Tom group. And let's suppose you want to add Tom to some other group. Means, okay, first let me run user mod command. User mod minus AG means append group called admin to Tom. Tom is already into DevOps group. I want to append him means add him to another group called admin. So minus AG. Whereas small g will remove Tom from his current group and add him into DevOps group. Whereas minus AG will add Tom to another group called admin group. Got the difference minus G and minus AG? These options, these flags, you don't have to memorize, okay? Because like as you use them, you will remember them. Otherwise, no one will remember them until or else as long as they are using them regularly, actively. So you just have to have an idea like you have commands for them. Okay. So user mod minus AG admin Tom. Now if you see that, okay, you can see. Now groups of Tom. Sudo groups Tom. Okay, you can see that Tom is added into DevOps group as well as admin group. Right? Earlier only on he was removed into Tom group but added into DevOps group. Now he was into both these groups. These are simple manipulations you can do managing your users and groups. And then suppose you want to remove Tom from admin group. G password minus D, delete Tom from admin group. See, removing user Tom from admin group. If you say just select groups of Tom, he'll be there in DevOps group. Got it, everyone? Understood this? Just give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah. So here you can see he was into DevOps group. So groups of Tom, you can see that he was into DevOps group. And now, mm, yeah, that's pretty much about creating a user, creating a group, adding user to a particular group, removing user from a group. Okay. Now, let's look into See, this users and groups makes more sense when you assign the permissions, isn't it? Otherwise, there's no point of creating groups and users, isn't it? How do you manage the permissions? That makes more sense to this users and groups. So let's see. I would like to just go to some folder called folder like TMP, and here I would like to create some file and see how the permissions work. Mm, Touch demo.txt. Okay, file is created. Okay, there were so many other files. That's okay. Let me create a directory as well, demo. So now we have demo file, demo.txt folder as well with the same name. So how do you see permissions of them? To see permissions of any files and folder, ls minus ltr. So here you can see, just focus on these two, ignore the rest. So you can see these are the permissions of this file. Mm, Permissions of demo.txt, right? And then these are the permissions of demo folder. How to understand them? Let's see. Mm, This is for a folder or a directory, demo. This is for demo.txt. So how to interpret, how to understand these permissions? If you see the first character, first literal in this permissions, first you have to consider the first literal. This first literal D indicates it's a directory. And here it's a hyphen means it's blank. It's not a directory. Then you have to take three literals as a group. First group, second group, third group. Okay, this is the first group, second group, third group. Same is the case. For anything, you have to consider permissions as first group, second group, and third group. Right? And what is the permission set of first group? First group permission is like the first set of permissions are for the owner of the file, owner or user permissions. This is owner's group, permissions of owner's group means let's say owner is in some group. So that particular group will have these permissions, owner group. Mm. Third one is others, right? Same is the case here also. Owner, owner's group. Let me put this way, owner, owner's group, and others. So how do you define it? Owner is defined with the letter U. Owner is defined with the letter U. Okay, and group is defined with the letter G. And everyone else who is not a owner, who is not a group owner is called others. So RW means read, write. And R means only read, only read. Here read, write, RWX means X means execute. Right? So blank means that particular literal is absent, means only read execute for group, read execute for owner. Understood this, everyone? So here others are having read execute. Here group is having read execute. Here owner is having read write execute. That's how you have to understand these permissions. Right? So so if you see here for this file, owner can edit the file. Whereas others can just have read permissions, no other permissions, right? Let's first verify that. Um, so if you want to see permissions of only ls minus ltr, only that particular file, you can give demo.txt, it will show only those. So read write, owner means easy to user. See here, you can see this first part is the owner, this is of the owners group. So owner can edit the file. So easy to user is the owner, so he can edit the file. So he can go here, write something, save it. Possible. So others, owners doesn't have that, right? Like others, if you see, others have only read. So let me switch to Tom user. How to switch the user? To switch to any user, su hyphen Tom. That will help you switch the user. Okay, so password for Tom. I don't think we set the password for Tom. Okay, let me set the password for Tom. Sudo password Tom. Okay, done. Now switch to Tom. It will prompt for the password. Give the password. See, you can see here the username changed. So you are a Tom user. You become a Tom user, right? So as you become a Tom user, try to go to that folder tmp and try to modify this demo.txt. See at the bottom here you can see changing a read only file. Understood? Because others have only read permissions. Is that making sense? Is that clear?
Yeah.
So he has got only read permissions, right? So he can't save the file. If you type something also, it will not allow to save the file. See, without typing also, I'm saving, it will not work. You have only close. How to close without saving? Q exclamatory, right? So that means read means he can see the content, he can read it, but he cannot write the content. That's what is only read permissions. So for Tom user to get the read permissions, what we should do? So two things, either you should give write permissions to others or else add Tom to EC2 user group. Am I correct? Two ways. Understood. Because Tom falls under others, you should give write permissions to others or else add Tom to owners group. Right. So here what I'll do is I'll give permissions to others. Let me put sudo, sorry, chmod means change permissions. Uh, Others. O plus W. O means others. Plus means add the permissions for this. So now if you see, it has got right permissions. Do you see the last stuff? Last part. Now again switch to Tom and check it out. Now go to the file path. Demo.txt. Hello. Edit. Still. Actually, he should have permissions as others has got right permissions. Hmm. Demo.txt.
I think he is in the same group.
No, Tom is not into his group. If you run groups command, he is into some other DevOps group. That's not the owner of the group owners. I have given right permissions to others because he belongs to others group. But somehow it's not working. We'll see, we'll figure it out later, but that's how you modify the permissions with chmod. I'll figure it out and we'll let you know, okay?
EC2 user is normal user, I think. Whether he is eligible to give permissions to other users instead of root user.
Owner of the file can give. Easy to user is
Oh, you're right, I think. Yeah.
if he cannot, it with this command will give some error. Okay, also
Yeah,
owner
you're
of the
right. You're
file
right.
give permissions. I have given others right permission, so it should work. That's why we'll figure it out. Okay, I don't want to just troubleshoot now and spend some time over here. It's not worthy to spend some time because these commands vary with the distributions of the OS also. On Fedora, those commands may slightly vary and all. So those commands we can fetch accordingly. So just let's go back to EC2 user and ls minus ltr demo.txt. So this is one way to give the permission chmod. Suppose I want to give permissions to group also, g plus w. Okay, g plus w demo.txt. right? So that's how you add the permission. See, now everyone has got right. Suppose I want to remove the permission. CH mod other means O minus W. Minus W means for others, remove write permission. So you can see here RW is removed, right? So also I want to remove for group G minus W, right? That's how you can remove the permissions, right? So you have removed the permissions for others, for the group as well. And in case if you want to give permissions, execute permissions for you owner means u plus x means execute permissions. Right, so u plus x and demo.txt. Okay, just a second, please, 1 second. Yeah. So this is how you give the permissions. This is one method. There are multiple ways we can assign the permissions to the we can assign permissions to the users and the groups. This is one of the way using chmod u plus or g plus, g minus, o plus and all. And there is another way, a much more better and a simple way. So see here, when I give executable permissions, the color of the file also change. If it's an executable, if there's an executable, that's how we can give the permissions to it. Right, we'll see that also when we give permissions to our script files. Meanwhile, let me show you another way to give a permission. Like suppose I have to give same permissions execute for all the three categories. Simply plus X will do. Sorry, plus X means add execute permissions for all. Right, chmod plus X and that file name. This should do. Right. And yeah. So that's how execute permissions can be given. Similarly, if you want to remove the permissions, plus minus X.
We see when we'll be giving the triple seven or some we'll be giving it. So in the
That's a
morning.
numeric mode. I'll come to that also.
Okay, okay.
These are the two ways. There is another way called numeric mode. And this is how you assign permissions to them. Like read means it's two. Sorry, read is 4. Write permissions, it's a 2. Execute means 1. That's a numeric mode. So that's how you can view permissions. 0 means no permissions at all. So instead of this, there is another format to give permissions, which is a numeric mode. Like let's suppose I want to give first digit indicates first group, means owner. See here, so here what is the owner's value? Owner's group value. It is 7, right? And then you have here read and execute, which is 6, and then again read and execute 6, right? So that's actually permissions file is having. Suppose you want to put read, write, execute for others also. Second digit is for owners, sorry, group owners. Third digit is for others. So that's how you have 777. Is this clear, everyone?
Read and execute is 5, right, Preeti?
Sorry?
Read and execute is 5, right?
Read and execute. Yes. Oh, okay, I have given 6 means read, write I have given. Okay. So let's see the permissions. Anyway, now I have made it 777, so it should be all permissions, like read, write, execute for everyone. Okay, let me change it as first one. Okay, first one, let's say I want only read, write, right? 6. And then second one, I would like to have only um let's say only read, right? 4. Third also only read. Like from the beginning, in the beginning, how the file was like. Okay. 644. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
I mean, like these numbers will indicate that operation.
Sorry.
6. No, I mean these numbers will indicate that operation. 6 for read, 4 for write, like that.
Yes. 6 means read and write. First group will have read and write. Adding all those, you got 6. First one, first 3 literals are for owners, right? So
Yeah,
read
yeah.
write means 4 plus 2, 6. That's how it is. So second one
Oh,
only 4 means read. Next
okay.
one also only read. Here each digit indicates a different group. First one is owner, second one is owners group, third one is others.
Okay. It will follow this order 0, 1, 2, 4.
Which will follow the order?
Normally, for read and write, it will be 6, right?
For read it is 4. Here are you seeing it?
Yeah,
Read
yeah, yeah.
4, write it is 2, execute it is 1. Okay, accordingly, how you want to give the permissions, that's how you have to assign. Like I told you, these groups will be, one second. So this is each first 3 characters. I mean, you have to group them into 3 characters, right? Okay. Now this is owner's permissions, these 3 characters. These 3 characters are groups permissions. These 3 characters are others. So if you want read, write, execute means first value will be 7. Read, write, execute. When you add it, it will become 7. Here also 7 and 7. Next group also 7. If you want only read, write means first one read, write means how much? Read is 4, write is 2, 6.
6,
Second one, second category. Yeah, I want only read means 4.
4. Yeah.
Here also 4 if I want only read. That's how 644. So accordingly how you want to give, you have to put that number. Got it? Is this clear for everyone?
Yeah.
Any confusions, questions? This is called numeric mode, more widely used method, more widely used way of handling it.
I'm asking that only we have to take 0, 1, 2, 4 like that.
Sorry?
I'm saying that this is the order 0, 1, 2, 4. I mean, like the.
Yep.
Okay.
And you have, these are the straight values. Okay, you have 3 as well, 5 as well, depending on the combinations. When do you get 5? Read execute means 5. Because read is 4, execute is 1. So
Mm.
you'll get 5.
Okay.
Similarly, you'll get a read and so on. 3 means write and execute. 6 means read and write. So depending on the combinations, you get those values. Okay. So this is about file permissions. And as you have seen, when you do ls minus ltr demo.txt, here you can see owner and the owners group as well, right? If you want to change the owner of the file. Tom is the owner, group owner is admin, demo.txt. Right, so you can see those permissions changing. Owner is Tom, group owner is admin. Right, first one is owner, this is the owners group. All right, and similarly, let me use sudo if I want to change only the owner. You can give only the first part, right? That will consider only the owner. Only the owner of the file will be changed. See, owner is only the owner of the file is changed. Owner's group is not changed. Right now, if you want to change that as well, you have another command called change group. Change group Devops. Sorry, change group. Let's say I want to put it as EC2 user. I'm just putting the change back. Right, so now again it's back to EC2 user and EC2 user. So these are again ch own, ch change group, change owner of the file. Change owner with 2 parameters. First parameter will be owner, second parameter will be group. Ch own first parameter means only the owner. So if you want to change only the group, change group. Are we good? These basics are enough. You don't have to deep dive into it, deep dive into this to the admin level, because as a DevOps engineer, you need to know or you need to have an understanding of these things. That should be fine. A little practice every day will help you. You don't have to master it in an overnight. Don't try to do it. Give that some time. Spend some 10 minutes daily on Linux. That's how you will be good with this basic stuff. Okay. And any questions before I move on?
No.
Okay, so now let's suppose I want to get the list of the commands. Okay, so here is the list. You can see the list of the commands in here, right? Let's say I just want to see, no, not all of them. I just want to see, okay, history. Like you can give the number so that you will see only 5 of them or 20 of them and all. But let's say I want to just put them into some notepad. Okay. Also, out in from this history, I would like to.
మనం ఓఎస్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయాలి. ఓఎస్ అన్న తర్వాత మనకు యూజువల్ గా 2 ఆప్షన్స్ ఉంటాయి, విండోస్ సర్వర్ ఓఎస్, లైనక్స్ సర్వర్ ఓఎస్. బట్ విండోస్ కంటే లైనక్స్ అనేది చాలా
So if you want to just search for some commands, you have an operator called pipe. This is called pipe operator. Operator is nothing but like this will connect it with another command. History command will be piped into grep. Grep means global regular expression. Means out of this history, I would like to grep only commands with the sudo. Grep, I'm repeating, it's a global regular expression. It's a kind of search. In this history, I would like to search, right? So see here, you will be listed with all the sudo commands from the history, right? So grep means it's like a search. If you want to search some history or the logs, this is helpful. Okay. And yeah, this is how you can see the commands. Now, after grepping this, let's suppose I want to put them into some notepad or some file like log.txt. This is called redirection arrow. So the output of
ఏమైంది
please keep muted, everyone having a lot of background noise.
ఏమైంది bro?
Manoj, please keep muted.
ఎక్కడ ఆ,
So this will put the output into a file called log.txt. It will create a file by this name and will put the output there. So now you can check log.txt. So you can see all the commands with the sudo. Got it right, everyone? Okay. And let's suppose now I just want to get the commands with chon. Right? These are the ones. Or let's say I want to grab commands with the G plus maybe. Those two. So now those two commands also I would like to put it into this file. Log.txt. Now if you open this file, see you are seeing only the last set, right? But what happened to the previous sudo commands? So this single redirection arrow will overwrite the content. Right? Suppose you don't want to, let's say I'm grabbing this sudo again. You don't want to overwrite, but you want to append. Use double redirection arrows. Okay. Now, if you see the content, you can see both G plus commands and sudo commands. Instead of overwriting, it has appended. That's the difference between single redirection arrow and double redirection arrow. These are simple operators in Linux. Again, Linux is a environment or a platform, right? We'll be learning Linux throughout the course. It is spread across horizontally. Today, like we are having an intro from the last day, and today is just to get some basic awareness. As we keep going through the course, we'll be learning many different concepts in Linux. Okay, this is just a get started. So that's about different operators, redirection arrows, and here there's a lot more coming in. Before we go for any shell scripting and all, today I would like to take you through the installation of packages in Linux. Shall we proceed with that?
Yeah.
So let's see installing some packages on Linux. So like I told you in the previous classes also, when we are learning it, installing package, like if you are installing it, it doesn't make any difference of how it works. Only installation differs. Meaning we did our hands-on on our laptop, right? Either it is Mac or Windows, we did our hands-on. So the concepts of Git remain would same, either it is on Linux or Windows. The installation steps differ. Right, so let's see installing Git here. First, let's check if Git is there. Git command not found means Git is not there. So how do you install it? In Linux, there are something called package managers which will help us with these installations. It's called package manager in Linux. Depending on the distribution of Linux, you have different package managers like yum for Red Hat based CentOS systems, apt-get for Debian based systems. So you have different package managers, right? So using them, we can install the packages. Like let's suppose you want to install any package. These packages managers will help you install them as well as uninstall those. Because actually in Linux installation will be in a bit different way. All the libraries will go into one location, all the binaries will go into a different location. So manually installing it would be a bit difficult when compared using with these package managers. So let's use here our system is a Red Hat based or Fedora based system. So we'll be using yum package manager, which comes by default on these systems. And if you want to check the distribution of your Linux, in the last class I have shown this file, right? etc OS release. So this file will give you the details of which distribution of your operating system is, right? Like Amazon Linux, Fedora type. Now you can install packages using yum. Yum install HTTPD, right? So that will help. Okay, I'm trying to install this. One second. First let us install Git. Okay, this is how you can install Git. Yum install Git. Oh, okay. So that needs super privileges. You may use sudo or else let me switch to root. Sudo su hyphen will help you switch to root user or super user or admin user, whatever you call it. Okay, now let us install it. Yum package manager install Git. So that should install Git on this system. Confirm with yes so that it will download and we should be having it installed. Earlier when I run git command it said command not found, but now you can see the version of git. Also if you run git it will not say command not found, but it will give lot of verbose, means git is installed. Now git is installed, you can version control by running git init, git status, those commands would remain same. That's a simple way to install the package. Similarly, let us install some web server and see how it works. Shall we get started? Just a second, give me a second. Okay. So, yeah. How many of you know a web server? What is a web server? Anyone knows web server? Okay, there is a web server like you all know, you all might be aware of HTTPD or Nginx, right? These are some of the examples of a web server which can of course work like a load balancer or proxy as well. Okay, here, so this is a web server which can be used to host some static web pages, right? Like HTML pages also possible. So let me install this web server and it will run on a port 80. That's a default port. Also, there is something called document root location where www.html where you can host the static web pages, right? That's what this web server will be helpful to. So let us install this web server, start the service and see how it works. Okay, so let us see. Let us try to install this. Okay. Yum install HTTPD. Confirm with yes. Start the service. Systemctl is an utility with which you can check the status of your services, HTTP. You can see it's active, right? And by the way, it runs on port 80. How do you check the port? Suppose, let's say I don't know on which port it's running. You can get the process ID. For everything in Linux, you have the process ID 28412. So you can get, you can check this process ID with the command net stat -lntup pipe grep. Okay, netstat is a command with which you can check the ports and it will return you all the ports. See here. But let's say I'm more focused on this particular one. So that's where the grep command can be helpful. We just learned grep command, right? To search or filter out something. So I'm checking for this process ID. So you can see it's running on port 80. Is this much clear, everyone? Installing a package and starting the service? Any questions till this part? If you don't know the port, this is how you can check with the process ID on which port your service is running on. Are we good? Okay, so now I'm using another command, curl. Curl is to check the content of this page on the command line, port 80. Right, you can see it works, right, on port 80. That's a default web server running. You can also check that on the browser. Localhost means this EC2 instance. Let's say I want to check this EC2 instance. I would like to hit this and check it on the browser. Get the public IP, hit that on port 80. But you need to open that particular port on this EC2 instance. You can go to security. So this particular port, edit the inbound rules, add the rule of port 80. HTTP port 80. Okay, and you select anywhere. Okay, so this is like port adding a firewall rule on the port, right? I'm allowing the incoming traffic on this port. By default, it wouldn't be all open. You can add the ports whatever you want. So HTTP port 80. Here, source anywhere means you can hit this from anywhere. That's how security groups and the inbound rules would help you. Anywhere means from anywhere we can hit this. So it's not HTTPS, it's HTTP. Yeah. So you can see that HTTP web server is successfully launched. You can also hit this URL and see that you can access it. I'm just pinging that in the Zoom chat. Can you all hit that and let me know if you can access it?
Yes.
Right, so that's about this. Means here, as we are on this part of adding firewall rules or security groups, actually, I want to teach you something. Here I have given anywhere, so you all can access it. Let's suppose there will be security. I just want to access it available for only certain IPs and all. Now, can you see you shouldn't be able to access it? Can you hit that again and see? You wouldn't be seeing it. Because it's accessible only from my IP now. Can anyone confirm that? Are you still able to exit?
Able to access actually.
Open it in the new port, new window incognito and try it out. Sorry, I think I did not save it. 1 second. Now please try. I did not save before. So that's the importance of security rules, a security group, particularly the inbound rules, which is allowing incoming traffic. If you want to allow incoming traffic on these ports, you would add them. So only I can access it. Right? That's how you can control, restrict who can access what. Is this much clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Are you able to access now?
Oh, it says can't reach the page.
Right. That's the importance of that security rules. Okay, that could be an important interview question also about the source parameter in the inbound rules. I'll repeat once again. This is what inbound rules allow incoming traffic source. What is the importance of source? Means who can access it. So you are giving permissions on who can access it. Now I made it anywhere. So again, you guys can access it. Right? So that's a simple web server, checking the port, starting the service. And I'll show you one more thing. Like I told you, right? This is the document root location default path. So here, suppose you want to host some static websites or some static HTML or PHP pages, you can do that. Of course, developer will provide it. So as a DevOps engineer, this is where you would deploy. As an example, I'm creating a sample HTML page like index.html. You may also download any page from the website from Google and use it. I'm just trying. Don't worry, this is a developer job. Just a sample one. Okay, you should put it in the document root location so that your application should be available here, right? You all can access the same as well. Can you all see the new page? So that's where the developer's code, if you put on the var www.html, that's a document root location, you can access the page. Any more questions from anyone? Is this much clear for all? Any questions? Appreciate your quick responses. Is this all clear?
Yeah.
Thanks, Praveen, for confirming. Thanks, Kalyani. Okay, and similarly, what else we can do? One more thing, like it runs on port 80, right? You can also change the port. Actually, that is handled at a here, meaning there is a actually the default file httpd.conf. One second. Oh, sorry, it's a file. Sorry, it's a directory. cd etc httpd. And there is, okay, go to conf.d .d here. Sorry, not conf.d, go to conf httpd conf. So this is where all the path, right, document root location are configured. Port, actually, see here, listen on 80, that's why it's working on 80 port. If you want to change the port, change it to 90, whatever port you want. And even document root location is configured somewhere here. So if you want, you can even change them. But first stop the, see, document root location. Do you see that? The directory out of which you will serve your documents. Okay. So you can change it, but I'm just leaving it as it is. I changed the port. What you should do, first stop the service, come and change the port here, and then start the service. Okay. Anyhow, I just saved it, so I'm restarting the service again using systemctl utility. Restart httpd. So check the status systemctl status httpd. You can see it's active. This time process ID is 29103 netstat minus lntup. Grep this process ID, which is 29103. You should be seeing it on port 90. Perfect. Just come here. It shouldn't work anymore. Perfect. It should work on port 90. Just hit on 90. It wouldn't be working. You can open in the new incognito window. So why it wouldn't work? We should add that port as well, right? So go to the security group, inbound rules to allow incoming traffic. I had port 80, I'm removing it. Now custom TCP port 90 and from anywhere. Save it. Now I should be able to access this on 90. Let me check that on the incognito. On 90. Okay. And here 80, it shouldn't be working. On 80, no, it shouldn't. Okay, whereas on 90, it's working. 80, it's not coming up. Clear? Right, that's how you can change the port of a service. The idea of showing you is, here I'm covering installing a package, starting a service, checking the status of a service, checking the port number, document root location, hosting up some web pages on the document root location, changing the port number of this service. Similarly, any service, similar things. Of course, the conf files would be different for each service and all, but that's how you deal with. Only the conf files would differ. Otherwise, checking the status of the service, starting the service, commands would remain same. Gripping the process ID, commands would be the same for any other services. Understood. Similarly, you may try installing Tomcat. Any questions from anyone? Is this much clear?
Yes.
This is for awareness on the environment, and then we can go with some shell scripting, some basics of shell scripting, like what is scripting, why we go for shell scripting and all. And shell scripting is just good to have skill, it's not mandatory. Okay, it's same Linux commands, but you put it in a more better format which can be reusable, which can be executed with some conditions on it. So that's where shell scripting comes in. And with all the new tools, like all the configuration management tools, shell scripts are not being widely used. So I'll show you basics of shell scripting. Also, I'll show you as we progress how to use shell scripting in pipelines. Also, I'll show you how to replace the shell scripting with other advanced tools. That's how we'll go step by step in that. We can get started with shell scripting in the next class. I would like to take questionnaire now. Any questions from the previous topics?
Preethi, when it comes to hands-on, like for some of the Git advanced topics, like for example, maybe Git reflog and all. I mean, do we need hands-on, or is it okay like whatever you are teaching in the session and whatever is available for the
This is more than enough, Kalyan. You don't have to use go to git reflog and all. If you see the documentation itself, there'll be lot many things which we
yeah.
okay with. If you can expertise what I'm covering here, those things you can explore, isn't it? If you want to try out something like reflog, you check the official documentation, but those are
Yeah.
very rare used. So
Okay.
whatever I'm covering here, expertise those things, that is more than enough.
Okay. Yeah.
One or two new things always we will come across. Maybe for some tools, not for all the tools. Like a reflog, I haven't used it till now anywhere. So those things, if I want, I can explore and learn with expertise I have. So get expertise on the content we cover. That's more than enough.
Sure. Thanks.
Like there's a saying, right? Rather than trying out 100 different hits or 100 different strategies, master few strategies, like learn few strategies and master them. That makes you more stronger than just getting knowledge of all the 100 things because we never use them. That would be productive learning them. Okay. Any other questions from anyone? Like any other topics in Git? Have you all completed your hands-on? Where are we with the hands-on on Git? Is the Git hands-on completed for each of you?
Most of the thing I have not, like, I have few more things I'm preparing.
Mm-hmm.
In client side network, I'm preparing. I'm working on the strategies. It was already installed GitLab, so I'm
Okay.
working on that.
Okay. Praveen has completed, it seems. And whoever haven't, please complete doing the hands-on and get started with the Linux basics. Set up your EC2 instance and get started. Tomorrow we'll go through the shell scripting and also SSH concept, SSH of how you are connecting to your remote machines. And from Wednesday we'll get started with the Jenkins. So that is all for today. I'm closing here for today and would like to give the few minutes back for you to do the hands-on. Go for the hands-on. Any questions, please ping me on the WhatsApp. If anyone haven't created or else new creating these instances, I would like to remind you, once you are done with your work, just stop the instant. Don't just leave it running. Stop it and start it again when you want it back. That is the right approach. All right then. Thanks everyone. Good day. See you all. Bye everyone.
Preethi.